Hey guys, just finished watching Legend of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 7, Hell No, Dolly. This episode was interesting, especially with having guest star Paul Rubin in this episode. I mean, he was in there, Paul Rubin. He voiced the puppet throughout the episode. That was kind of fun having him there. He also played Penguin's father over on Gotham and stuff, so that was kind of cool seeing him here. So we start off this episode, it was very kind of Constantine central, dealing with Constantine and his ex-lover and finding out, he has a dream. We start off the episode with him having a dream with his ex-lover and stuff, and we see that Ava takes away the magic book from Rory type thing, so they don't have that, and he doesn't have that anymore. And we find out that in 1896, someone knows exactly who Constantine is, which was not sure how that works, but I guess it was another magic person. Magic knows magic, right? She was able to sense his magic and stuff, so that was kind of interesting dealing with that. We find out that he ended up hooking up with her grandson, her great grandson type thing. And then we also have this Mona storyline, which I'll get into that a bit later, which is terrible. We see Constantine tries to change his path throughout this episode. In the end, we find out that he was the one who sent Desmond to hell. Desmond, his ex-lover, ex-boyfriend type thing from a couple of months ago. And he tries to, and he ends up breaking time. Back in the day, a few months ago, he sent him to hell. When he sent the demon to hell, his soul was attached to him, and he sent him to hell to save everyone else. And I think that was kind of an interesting idea to kind of deal with all that, is to kind of where things go with all that. And it looks like he ends up breaking time with that. So I think that's really going to be cool to see, is kind of where things go with that. It looks like every time's kind of frozen, but yet you have, you have Zari get turned into a cat and stuff. And it looks like from the trailer for next episode that, if I'm not mistaken, we see Gideon standing around there. Or at least it's very hard to see in the trailer. Kind of goes by real fast. There's a shot with Ava, the three of them, Ava and Sarah and another person. It looks like the actual Gideon, the Amy Lewis pen bomber, who voices Gideon. She played him in that one actual episode with when they were inside of what's his face's head, I can't think of it, Rip's head type thing. And so it's going to be cool to see, to kind of where things kind of continue on with this whole thing, how they kind of break in time and stuff, and hopefully they play with that for a little bit longer, because right now the stories that they're doing with this is complete garbage. The Constantine story was really interesting. The Mona storyline was just such garbage. Oh my god, it is terrible, that Mona storyline. Like, who gives a crap about Mona? She's the worst character in the Arrowverse, the worst character. So bad. Like, it is just, oh my god, she is a worse character than the way Red Tornado looked on Supergirl in the first season type thing. Like, that is terrible. I'd rather have give him a spin-off show, the Red Tornado, that looks terrible, than actually giving than seeing her anymore, because this is just driving me crazy. Her, and even Gary is getting to be an annoying character because of her. Like, it's such terrible character. It's over the top, and it's annoying. And like, sometimes it's fun. He's used fun here and there, one-liners and stuff. But I don't want a story around him. I don't care about Gary. I just want him to say funny one-liners here and there, or funny input there, here and there, things like that. Following him on, like building up an actual character out of that. Like, I don't care for those characters. Gary and Mona, oh my god, they're annoying. And now bringing in this Conan type thing. Oh my god, it's so bad. Like, it's so terrible and annoying, and just, I don't care about it, so we'll see where things go with it. Hopefully they have some sort of big reveal with it. Maybe they're kind of playing it like this, playing it terrible on purpose. It's just so bad, so garbage. I'd rather go back to dealing with Nate and his father's relationship. That is quite interesting, having his father back, who's the guy from Back in the Future and stuff. That's kind of cool, seeing him around. I like having RuPaul on this show. Things like that are quite fun. But then you go and you waste time with Mona and Gary. Like, oh, it just drives me crazy. I really hate those characters so much. They're so bad. So yeah, like this Constantine stuff in this episode was really good. It was really cool. It's dealing with that, and now the twists and turns with his relationship and stuff was kind of interesting, especially when he had to go back and he found a way to kind of break time and stuff. And I think that's going to be interesting to see as to where things kind of go with that, especially since they're not part of the crossover. And the next episode for all the other shows, episode 9, is going to be the mid-season final, and it's going to be the crossover Elseworld. And I was hoping to see as to how since they're not a part of it, how does it still affect them? Now if they go to a different Earth, things could, if they're going to, it looks like they're going to a different Earth for the rest of the crossover, so maybe it won't affect Legends because they're staying on Earth 1 technically. I think it's going to be cool to see as to where things kind of go with that. Now if they're in this kind of pocket dimension, and this is one thing that I wish they would see things kind of affecting. It's kind of weird that they have this show and it does all kinds of stuff. They just broke time, and they're not going to see any effect at all on Arrow. Now, obviously, we got the crossover. We got this Elseworld. I'm really excited after seeing some of the teasers for that. I'm really excited to see that. I do not want to mess with that. But I really wish that they would do these things, that they would make these things connected, and I would love to have seen, an episode, have him break time, and then have it break in Arrow and Flash. Now, Supergirl's on a different show, so maybe that wouldn't work. But maybe say it does, and it affects Supergirl too, if you wanted to, But she's in a different Earth, so you could say it doesn't affect her. But at least it would be cool to see Arrow and Flash just kind of, completely, things just don't make sense, you know what I mean? Things are just kind of completely reversed and mixed up. Time is just out of whack, and they're just, it just completely pauses their episodes, their shows, and deals with, and they're all affected by the Legend of Tomorrow stuff. Kind of like how, Flash went back in time and it changed, Diggle's son to a daughter, his daughter to a son type thing, which is a little thing, but I want bigger stuff and actually kind of change, maybe Felicity, is, heck, I would love to see different things like complete reality changers, maybe you get Daniel Panabaker to play Felicity or things like that, and just kind of completely where it's not just, different people and people moved around and stuff. It's the people's looks, everything about reality and physical, like who people are, is completely changed, and everything completely changed. Would be cool to see that and have it go back. And if you're not watching Legends, oh well. I think what they need to do more of in these shows, is more of expecting you to watch everything. And if you don't watch everything, too bad. Who cares? We don't care about you if you're only watching one of these shows. We don't care about you if you're only watching 3 of the shows. We only care about the people who are watching all of the shows. That is what I wish would happen, but reality is never going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with this. I think it's going to be a fun thing to play with. It looks like it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully it doesn't just last like a one episode or something. Maybe they could play with it for a few episodes. I remember last season when they had the Legion of Doom actually winning, and we saw that we saw the Legion of Doom. They had the trophies and stuff. They had the trophies with all the different helmets and stuff that they had collected on the masks and stuff that Damien Dark had collected. And then we saw Felicity in a superhero costume, somewhat, as a vigilante. That was really cool. I'd like to see things like that with this show, but I'd like to see that for the rest of the season. I'd love to play in this destroyed timeline. In the rest of the season, so I think I'd like to play with that. Now the problem with that is not having any effect of that on Arrow or Flash type thing, and there's no way they're going to do that. I mean, it would be interesting if they leave, go do the crossover, go do Elseworld, go to a different planet, and they get back and everything's kind of completely changed. Things don't exist. Things are in different places because of the legends and stuff, and I think that would be quite interesting to do. I think it'd be quite fun to play with, and completely change up their seasons too, going from then on. You can still keep their season storyline going on, dealing with Flash can still deal with Cicada, but things about it have completely changed. Not mistaken, and they started to they're pretty close to finding out who Cicada is in the Flash. Have Legend of Tomorrow, this time break destroys that, and all of a sudden they got to start from scratch to finding out who Cicada is. Things are all mixed up, and they got to go from scratch type thing, and it's going to be a total different timeline is effect. It would really be cool, and I need to see this. Time travel needs to see the connection is between Nora and Legends. Legends playing with time would be cool. Maybe Nora gets back to her timeline, and things are messed up from the Legends type thing. I don't know. I'd love to see some connections to here. It feels like the more popular shows like Flash can affect other shows, but Legends can't affect the Flash. Why not? So I'd like to see more of that, and more of this show kind of going into that. And I really want to play in this kind of post breaking of time for a very long time. And I like to play is to kind of find out, why is everyone frozen? Why is Mona frozen? We got Sarah and Ray and Ava and Rory and all them stuff on the bridge, and they're kind of frozen in time. But yet Constantine is completely fine. Nothing's kind of changed for him. He's not frozen. And we have Zari got turned into a cat. Why did she get turned into a cat? And why wasn't she frozen in time too? And then why didn't Charlie? Why didn't she get frozen in time? She has her powers back, but I think that's gonna be cool to see, is to kind of, why doesn't she get frozen in time and stuff too also. So that'll be cool to see, because obviously I guess I could see how there's some reason why something's different, because they were outside of they were in the jump ship and not in the actual Rave Rider, but the jump ship and the Rave Rider should be the same thing. So the effects on Sarah and Ray and all that stuff on the bridge should be the same as the jump ship. The jump ship's not made, like half quality of the big ship. Like you have a big submarine, big Navy submarine, and a little submarine. They're both going to be, they're both going to be pretty much the same to go to the same amount of waters. It's both going to be watertight and hold against the same type of water, just different sizes of ships, right? So, why did it affect different people different ways? I think that would be cool to find out, and hopefully this looks like that'll be highly Constantine involvement. So that'll be cool to see that, and definitely be cool to see as to where things go with this storyline. So all in all, I'm excited to see where things go with this, as long as they stop with the Mona storyline and even stop with Gary's storyline. I don't mind him as kind of a maybe a sidekick to some characters here and there, but I really don't care about Gary too much. I don't want to dive into his storyline. You make him a focus of the storyline. I'd rather give like Nate a storyline and have him be a back supporting character in that storyline. Give Ava a storyline, give him the back, maybe he's a small supporting character in that storyline. Instead of giving him the storyline and then making Nate a supporting character to that storyline, that is just terrible. Like, he's just driving me crazy. He's not he's not a character from the comics, so there's one thing that I hate about it, and he's just annoying, and he spawns off characters like Mona, which is even terrible, and then this kind of we're gonna rant on this too much, but I guess I get annoyed by those stuff. It would be so cool to follow the Time Bureau, and now they're kind of, it feels like when they first made the Time Bureau, not following them and stuff, they feel like this elite organization, this shield-like stuff, but once you start diving into it and you get a peek inside behind the curtains, it doesn't look as interesting as it looked on the outside. It's always like that idea of the grass is always green on the other side until you get there and you look at it and you realize it's just, oh, okay. So that's one thing. I wish they had made this more Shield-like, Shield-like in the Shield in the movies, but just kind of a time traveling version of Shield, type thing. So I think that would have been really cool. They had an opportunity to do that, and they kind of, this season has really turned it into this kind of silly thing with Charlie, with Mona and Yeri, which is starting to annoy me like crazy. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. Where do you think things are going, and how long would you like to see them play with this kind of this breaking of time? Hopefully this lasts for the rest of the season, because like I said, when we saw it last time, when we saw Felicity in like that costume, and Damien Dark had like the shelf full of the heroes, masks and stuff. It only lasted like one episode, and it was like there was no effect of that on the show, on the other shows, and I doubt we're gonna get any effect on the other shows. But I would love to see that an effect on the other shows. Maybe they go off world to do different things, and that's how Barry and all our characters on the other show are not really kind of physically affected by it. They're on a different planet, and then they get back, and things are kind of a shambles. I would love to see that, but I don't really see that happening. So I'd be surprised as all hell when that happens, if that happens. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes
Subscribing.
is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.